Hi there, it's Craig here. Today we're doing a brew. This is a homebrew kit that I received from somebody who calls himself LK Cheat on YouTube. I'm not sure if she wants her first name mentioned, but if she does, she can put it in the comment section down below. But she was kind enough to send me a Brewer's Best American Cream Ale beer kit. Now this is an all extract beer kit. It's got liquid malt extract and dry malt extract in it. And there was no steeping grains or anything like that. There was some dry malt extract, liquid malt extract, and some dextrose, and some hops, obviously. And you'll see all that in a few minutes in the video. So thanks to LK Cheat for sending me this beer kit. And at the end of this video, there will be a taste of the beer, a tasting. Okay? So let's get brewing. Cheers. Okay, so I just pretty much followed the kit instructions. I started out with 2.5 gallons of water, thanks to Super Pablo 1966, or Paul, for bringing me this great brew pot. I started off by, heating up the can of malt extract, as usual, to make it easier to pour. And it took about half an hour to bring this 2.5 gallons of water to a boil on the stove. Once I got the water to a boil, I turned off the heat and added the can of liquid malt extract. And I wanted to make sure that it was all off the bottom so I didn't end up burning any of it. And I turned the heat back on and just used some of the boiling wort to rinse out the can. Putting the first hop addition into a bag. And of course, if you'll notice, we've told you once, we've told you 1,000 times why you should never take your eyes off of a boiling wort. Whoops, I just caught it. And I didn't have a spray bottle, I forgot. But there you go, that's how fast it can happen. I added my bittering hops and set my timer for 55 minutes. Easy home brewing. After 40 minutes of boiling, it was time to add the dry malt extract and the dextrose. And of course, with dry malt extract, there's always lumps and things like that, so you've got to give it a good stir. And I've got the heat turned down so I don't burn anything again to the bottom. went the dextrose. You can see that the wort wasn't boiling at this point because I brought the temperature down when I added the dry malt extract and sugar, but the instructions said to boil for another 5 minutes and then add the flavor hops. So I just waited 5 minutes and I added them. And then it said to boil for another 10 minutes. So these hops were added at the 10-minute remaining mark, so there'll be more of a flavor hop than an aroma hop. And it came back up to the boil pretty quick after this. Time to sanitize the wort chiller. Thanks to Midwest Home Brew Supplies for donating that. Cheers to you guys. There's about 9 minutes left in the boil at this point, and then I cut the heat and took the pot downstairs. So I didn't show this part because there's a lot of juggling around with cameras and everything and hot pots. Took it downstairs, hooked up the wort chiller, and chilled it down. Poured it into my sanitized fermenter and topped it up with cold water. In the meantime, I also rehydrated the yeast as the instructions recommended me do, which is basically I took 90-degree water, about half a cup, quarter a cup, and I added the yeast to that, and I put some saran wrap over it and just let it sit for 15 minutes, and then I stirred it. And I just added that to the wort, and the temperatures and all the readings and things are on my brew calendar. If you go to my website, www.craigfairway.com, and this was brewed on July 27th, 2011, and if you click on that, you'll see it, and you'll be able to check, all the details out for this particular beer kit. And thanks once again to LK Cheat. Thank you so much for sending me this beer kit. I can't wait to taste it. Cheers. Well, there you go. Obviously, I left out me actually pouring it into the fermenter. I think that sort of speaks for itself. It's a bit of a hassle for me to bring the camera downstairs here and bring everything down and film that part. So I did that. Put my airlock on, wort chilled it and all that. Okay, this has been bottle conditioning for about a month, and I did keg most of it, and I've been drinking it out of the keg. And I'm going to tell you, I won't lie to you guys. I've already tried it. It's a great beer. It really is. I really, if you can get your hands on these Brewer's Best American Cream Ale kits. I've never tried any of their other kits, so I don't know. Let's get into it. All right. Took me about 2 hours to make this, even less, actually, to make this absolutely wonderful beer. Oh, okay. Now it's not clear, and it won't be clear. I don't know whether that's from the hops, but this has been bottle conditioning for an entire month, and it's just not getting. It's not going to get. You can see through it. Okay, it's not completely thing. You can see the light through it, but it's hazy. Okay, and that's just the way it is. Okay, a lot of great quality beers are hazy. But it just looks such a great color. Wish I had I forgot my flashlight, but it just has a great golden color. And let's give it a try. Oh, great carbonation. Very, very nice, clean, refreshing flavor, beautiful mouthfeel. The hops don't stick out at you, like they're not like right in your face. The types of hops that were used in here are a little more mild, a little less aggressive. The beer itself creates some lacing. The head retention is great. I don't know. I just love this beer, and I will endeavor to make this particular beer kit again. Now, I don't know what the prices of these things are, and I don't know how much it costs to ship it up to Canada. So that's something that I would have to look into. But you'd never believe you made this yourself out of extract. That's all I can say. It's a wonderful, wonderful beer. Just a little bit of hops there. Very clean in the back. Nicely carbonated. I used 3 Cooper's carbonation drops in that 1 liter bottle. It's a great, great beer. Let's top her up. I'm not kidding you guys. I mean, you do have to try this beer kit. If you're an all-grain brewer and you don't have a lot of time one week and you just want to whip up a quick batch of beer kits are amazing. You know, I've done the Coopers, I've done the St. Peter's, now I've done the Brewer's Best. This is the American Cream Ale. It does have a nice, smooth mouthfeel, creamy sort of taste and texture. Nothing really pokes out at you. It's very clean. Does have a nice subtle hop aroma. And it stands up great in the glass. I mean, if that doesn't make you thirsty, just looking at that, I don't know what would. All right? That's a beer. That's an awesome beer. You'll know what I mean if you make this kit. If I can't get this beer kit for less than $30 shipped, then what I'm going to do is gather up all the ingredients from around here. I'm sure I can get all the things that went into this beer. Considering there's no grains, I can get the Willamette hops. I can get I've got the dry malt extract. I can get the Muntons can. If I can't get that, then I'll just use a Cooper's similar one. And I'm going to recreate this again. I don't know if I'll be able to do it exactly that way. If I can get all the exact ingredients, then I'll make this beer again. Absolutely. Or if I can get a Brewer's Best kit from somewhere for not too expensive, then I'll do that. The thing is that I know what a lot of you guys are thinking, you know, if you're going to pay $30 or $40, to make a beer, why not just do all grain? And that's a good question, of course. Why not? Sure, go ahead, go all grain. It's more time consuming and you need more equipment, you need some different things. This, you don't need anything special. Yeah, so I mean, it's a balance. Now for me, if I was to try and make an all grain beer that tastes like this, it's probably going to cost me, from where I live, it's probably going to cost me the same as it would just to buy the damn kit. Okay, that's the difference. It does depends on where you live. Some of you guys down in the States, you can walk into a store and for $20 you got your entire grain bill and your hops and yeast and all that stuff, and that's cheap. That's really, really cheap. No wonder you're doing all grain. For me, it's actually almost as cheap, if not, about the same price to brew up a beer kit like this than it is to buy all the grains and everything else and do it from scratch. Plus, you have to have the propane, and you could do brew in a bag, I guess, but you still need the big pot. We've talked about all this before. It's not a big deal. You try this, and you will not be disappointed with this beer. I dare you to try this beer and be disappointed if you like an American cream ale. I bought an American cream ale or a cream ale beer from my local liquor store-bought. It was supposedly a craft beer, Ontario craft beer. Didn't even come close. I think I still have it. The bottle's down there on the floor. Didn't even come close to this. Didn't have this head retention. Didn't have that nice color. Didn't have the flavor. Didn't have the mouthfeel. I just brewed a better beer than a craft brewer did for a fraction of the price right here in 2 hours in my home. Plus fermentation time and conditioning time. If you haven't heard the terms head and lacing lately on YouTube, then you've been hiding under a rock, but there you have it. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching this another brewing video. I got another one coming up with a Midwest home brew supply beer kit. That one's got some oak chips in it, so we're going to be experimenting with that beer kit. It has some grains in it as well, so partial extract beer video is coming up very soon. In fact, that'll probably be my next batch of beer. Watch my calendar on craigfairway.com. You can see what I'm brewing. It's been a little slow the last few weeks, but I'm still brewing. I still have lots of stuff coming up, so check it out, craigfairway.com. Try this beer kit. If you can find this beer kit somewhere locally, just give it a shot. I love it. It's a great summer beer. Okay? Cheers. See you guys soon. Thank you. Ooh.